Yes.
And there were shocking figures for the leading parties. But there are other cities. Ekurhuleni, ANC was fairly comfortable last time around. It wasn't an easy one, but...
Yes. So they were close to having the city, 48.8%. And now projects to 2021, 38.5%.
38, so there was 10% gone.
10% swing. And again, the same margin, similar margin in Johannesburg. 10% from 48 to 38 here.
And the DA also significant?
DA 34 to 28. So they are looking to end at 28%, a difference of about 6%. Then we have the EFF at 11.1, slight increase to 13.2.
So they didn't get these votes by and large.
They didn't grab as much of them as was there available for grabs.
Where did they go?
So now let's go to the Action SA, 7.4%, and also look at the Freedom Front Plus. They had 1% in 2016, and now they've almost quadrupled that to 3.5%.
So these two parties have become the upsetters in this election.
Yes.
EFF steady ship, marginal gains, comfortable progress.
Correct.
But the damage was done by these, by and large, by these two.
That's correct.
In theory, although there are many equations that need to play out there, people not showing up, etc., etc. Okay, so that's Ekurhuleni. Fascinating. So there'll be a lot of coalition talks there for sure.
Yes.
And then the capital.
City of Tshwane. Again, in the previous election, quite hotly contested by the two parties. Here, what you will see is that they ended up almost neck and neck in 2016. Okay, and you fast forward to 2021, 41 to 35, which is about a 7-point difference. 43 to 32, 9 points difference. So that's quite a chunk. Again, similar pattern. EFF 11, or rather 12, to 11, 10.6.
Okay.
They holding steady. Slight loss of ground, but not much.
They're holding their own, unlike the two above them.
Yes.
And again, the other suspects then have been the ones that have taken up, in theory, those votes.
So you look at the Freedom Front Plus, they had 2% in 2016. And they are now projected to be at 7.3%. And that's about 5%, just over 5%. And Action SA, they were not there in 2016. And they've got projected 9.1%. So 5 and 9.1, that's where much of it has gone to.
All right. And we saw the Freedom Front Plus actually progress in 2016 because they weren't there 2011, 2016. So their story has been one of growth, perhaps not talked about as much as the EFF, etc., but now we're starting to see that this story began unfolding a while back, actually.
Sure, that's correct, Peter. If you look at 2016, for Freedom Front Plus, this column here, it shows 2019, the national and provincial elections. But we take the voting districts that make up the city of Tshwane and see what sentiment they showed, who did they vote for. So they voted for Freedom Front Plus by 6.3%. And so that trend of going up continues, although the uptick is not as much from 2019 to 2021.
All right. Dr. Cingo, thank you very, very much indeed. Fascinating to see these figures speak the story of these elections that our citizens across the country have been enunciating and quite loudly, actually. All right, so